Welcome back at Seva Cooking Videos. My name is Chef Furgi, and today I have a very special guest with me.
Angie. Hi guys.
Hi Angie.
Hi Furgi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited. What are you going to do for us today?
I'm very excited to be here at Seva Food Bank. We are going to be making a very simple dish today. Something that I make often at home. So we're going to be doing a broccoli penne in cream sauce. So I'm going to start off with adding my olive oil to my pan, which is hot right now. And Chef Furgi's going to help me with a couple of ingredients that we're going to start with. So I really don't measure, you guys, when I'm doing a dish. I mean, if you're going to put olive oil in, you can measure maybe about 3 tablespoons, but I kind of just eye it. And that's how I do sort of my olive oil measuring. I do a lot of measuring like that actually. So I'm going to add a couple of bay leaves. If you don't have bay leaves at home, you don't have to put bay leaves in. But I'm going to add a couple of bay leaves. And I'm going to turn this down a little bit because it's high.
So about the measuring, I mean, what can you do wrong with onions and garlic? And
Yeah,
you know, it's
absolutely.
so good. The flu season is coming, so
Right.
it's a good idea to put a little bit more in it.
Yeah, so I don't usually use measurements, especially for ingredients that I'm using on a regular basis. I kind of just eyeball it.
Yeah.
If I'm making a cake, obviously I'm
Then
gonna
you have
sort of measure. Then you have to. And like you said, flu season is coming, so the more garlic and the more onions you can get into your system, the better.
Can you roast the garlic and the onions before? Or does it change the recipe of the
Sure,
Yeah?
you could totally roast the garlic and the onions in the oven. That'll just sweeten the onions and the garlic, so it'll give it a bit of a more of a sweet taste,
Okay.
and it'll caramelize them, so then you don't have to do a lot of the sautéing even.
Yeah.
So in goes, we've got about maybe 5 cloves of garlic and 1 full onion, which is going into the hot pan. So it's my first time cooking, guys, at this kitchen, so my heat is gonna go up and down because I'm not used to this stove. So I'm gonna actually turn my heat up so it starts kind of sauteing my ingredients.
How long you saute it until it's nice and
So I'm gonna say anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes to maybe 10 minutes, depending on
Okay.
how strong your heat is. So we're working with a gas stove, so obviously it's not gonna take any time at all.
yeah,
If we were working on a flat surface stove, it would probably take longer.
that's the beauty about gas.
Yeah, gas
It's
is
very
the
fast.
absolute best to have.
Can you use butter as well? For the,
You can definitely use butter.
yeah?
So I opted for olive oil today.
Yeah.
You can use butter, you can use ghee, you can use any sort of fat that you want. But I find olive oil gives it a bit of a taste too.
Yeah.
So as you can see, guys, this is coming along really nicely. So I'm gonna just keep cooking this until the onions are a little bit more translucent. So I've opted to do a vegetarian version today. So I want to put in a green vegetable because it's good for you. It's got a lot of fiber in it. So Furgi's been kind enough to grate the broccoli for me. So you don't have to grate the broccoli. You can actually have it in
You can put it in bigger
bigger
pieces too,
pieces.
isn't it?
So I have 2 grown boys at my house. They eat house and home out. Like whatever gets cooked in my house gets eaten. So I tend to go to a dish I know that they're going to eat. So I usually always grate it because grating is really popular in my house. That's how they like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and add the broccoli.
What other, if you don't have broccoli, what else could you use? Can you use any vegetables like
You
cauliflower?
can use any vegetables.
tomatoes.
You can use tomatoes, obviously.
Yeah.
You can use if you
Yeah.
want to add tomatoes. You
Just-
can use
I'm
cauliflower.
just
You
gonna
can
turn
use,
it down a little.
yeah.
Out of it.
Yeah. You can use, and if you don't want to make it a vegetarian dish, you can also use meat. So you can use chicken. You can use
Beef.
even beef or
Yeah.
fish. You can do it with like even shrimp.
That would be a very nice.
Yeah, and if you want to keep it vegetarian and you're still looking for the protein, which we don't get enough of,
Yeah.
I would add edamame to this because edamame gives it a bit of a crunch, and edamame is full of protein. So that's something I do add on a regular basis to my pasta as well.
But I think this recipe really has so many other variations what you can do with them.
Definitely.
You can also use leek, I think, instead of the regular onions. I think you can use some other spices. Can you put some more spices in?
Sure, you can
put
add
some
ginger.
coriander? Can you put some?
Yeah. You can use ginger if you want it.
Oh, that
right?
would be
Obviously.
fresh ginger.
I usually don't like ginger in my pasta, so I won't add it. Just because, so I'm South Asian, obviously background, so I use ginger almost in everything I cook when I'm cooking Indian. So when I'm doing an Italian dish, I'll leave the ginger out because we get so much of the ginger in the Indian cooking.
The Italian wouldn't understand. Wow, what is wrong with you?
Exactly. So this is, guys, coming along really well. I'm gonna just turn it up a little bit so it gets cooking. And then in the meantime, we've already boiled the pasta. So when you're boiling pasta, we've done 1 bag. So for 1 bag of pasta, we used 5 cups of water. So you want to make sure when you're boiling pasta that the water is above the pasta, and you bring it to a nice boil. Then you boil it for about 10 minutes. Keep it al dente and not too soft, because you want the pasta to be a little bit hard, because when you're adding it to the dish, it's going to keep cooking. So you don't want it overcooked, because then it's going to get all mushy. So this is coming along really well. So now I'm going to add my cream sauce first.
Your cream sauce?
Yes.
Here we go.
So this is definitely not a dish if you're watching your weight, because it's more of a comfort dish, because we're into winter and we're going to do a dish with full fat cream. So I'm actually using whipping cream. You don't have to use the whole box because it is very fattening. So I'm going to actually add water to it. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of whipping cream just because the fat content is so high in it. So this will give it a little bit of sort of texture too. So that's obviously not enough, and I'm going to add more whipping cream. But if I buy this, I always have this in the fridge. If I buy this size, this will last for about 3 dishes for me, because I'll try to kind of use a little bit at a time for each dish, so it's not so many calories all in one dish. So with the cheese, I'm going to go over the cheese. So if you want to use Parmesan, you can use Parmesan cheese for this dish. And you can use a mix of either mozzarella or cheddar, whichever one, depending on what your family likes. So I've got one son at home who doesn't like Parmesan, fresh Parmesan, doesn't like the taste of it. And the other one and myself, we love Parmesan. So I kind of try to do a little bit of each, so it's not really, really strong, because Parmesan has a very strong, distinct flavor. We've got fresh Parmesan here grated. It's about maybe, I don't know, 1 cup?
Yeah,
I want to say it's a cup.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and add that. And I'm going to give that a really good mix. So now, because if you look at the dish, see how cheesy it is? I don't really need to add that, but if you've got somebody in the family that likes it really cheesy, add a little bit. I'm gonna just do a little bit on top, and that's about it. So I didn't really add any chili flakes or any heat to this, and we actually do like a lot of heat in the house as far as taste goes. So I've got sriracha. It's a smoky sriracha, so I'm gonna add sriracha on top. And you can also do this when you're plating the dish too, as well, depending on who likes pepper and who doesn't in the family. So it's pretty easy to add. So I've added the sriracha, and we're good to go. That's how easy this dish is.
Mark the band.
How good does that look?
Good job. Good job.